But before the show, you and I were talking about, like, one of the skill sets that you have is being able to recognize patterns,
Yes.
right? Let's talk about the pattern that you started noticing between automotive, direct sales, between the work you were doing, but from the military, all those different things. What were some of the patterns that you recognized that you saw as like, hey, I can actually leverage this now because I can see. It's almost like seeing behind the matrix, right? Like I see the ones and zeros of how this
Yes.
stuff is working. Tell me how you developed that, and then what did you start noticing for yourself?
What the pattern that I saw to begin with was systemization. No matter what you're looking at, there is a system there. So the first place I saw the system was in a cell, the cell, and how that operates, right? Then when I went to chemistry and organic chemistry, and I learned how to build a protein, I noticed another system because these systems build on each other. Then, as I was in calculus and stuff, there was another system. Then I got out of that working at, thinking about when I was working at McDonald's, thinking about the school system, thinking about politics, right? Because I had delved into politics and understood how that works. Everything is a system, right? So whether it was going to school, whether it was in the sales industry, whether it was in the military, it was all system and organization. So that was the beginning of the pattern. And then I noticed that a person's life should be run like a business because the problem with humans in their own personal lives is unorganization and disorganization and no system, right? No understanding. So there's a lot of people just moving around willy-nilly. And no matter what you do, you always have to learn the basics. Everything is built off of the basics, right? And it's all centered around human connection and human communication. All of this is the same no matter what industry that you're in. Not only did I do this, I was also a truck driver, right? And so as a truck driver, I drove trucks for 6 years, and it's the same exact thing, right? With whether you're managing trucks or you're managing a CRM, it's the same thing when you're communicating with humans, when you're trying to make plans, when you're planning a route. When it came to planning my route on for the trucks, it reminded me of planning my route for territory to knocking on these doors, right? It's the same thing, just a different industry, right? So with that, I learned that humans are the same in each one of these areas. Humans are the same. And guess what? No matter what you're doing, you have to sell. So whether I'm selling you an idea or whether I'm selling you a product or selling you myself, you have to have the ability to communicate an idea, right? So these are all of the patterns that I saw in all of the industries, whether I was in sales or driving trucks or in um, being a part of the military. So I took for each one of these fields, I took core principles and I took them with me everywhere I went, right?
Hey, I wanted to let you know that I am literally giving you everything for less than $100 a month. Let me explain what I mean by everything. I'm gonna give you the full focus framework. You'll get access to our members area. I'm even giving you our 31-day video series. I'm also throwing in the Side Hustle Secrets course. And you're gonna get access to the group coaching and Q&A. Oh, I'm not done. I'm gonna also give you access to the Side Business Accelerator. And just to make this even sweeter, I'm gonna give you 20% off all of our live events. Now that's $17,000 worth of value that you will literally get for $97 a month. Get access to the accelerator and the side hustle secrets all for you. Click the link below, join the program, and man, let's get that side business profitable right now. Let's get back to the episode.
And they kept building on and building on and building on and building on. And that is what led me to really digging in human behavior by seeing how entities work, because entity is nothing but another form of human that's disconnected from the human itself, right? So you grow a business, which is an entity, right, based on how you would grow a person.
Okay. All right. So we here now. All right. Then let's just do this because all right. You grow a business the way you would grow a human.
Yes.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's say I've started my side business, and let's say I'm between 0 and 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand what you mean, given the context of what you just said.
Okay, so the fact of the matter, if you have a child, right, you have to nurture that child. That child doesn't have language. That child doesn't have, and you have to continue to put fuel into that child and teach that child or program that child and set that child up the way that you want that child to express themselves in this environment. Within a 0 to 3 year period, that's the same thing that you have to do, because your business doesn't have any foundation, it has no language, it has nothing. And so you have to first create a philosophy, right? Which is your mission statement. Okay. All humans are based on biological programming first, and then the psychological programming, which is the um, philosophy. You have to instill a philosophy and build around that philosophy in order to uh, build this entity, which is the brainchild, because this is what we call a brainchild. And so you have to give that brainchild nutrients. What are the nutrients to that? Well, before you go to the nutrients, you have to build the brain of the entity, because the human has a brain, right? You have to build the brain of the entity, which would be what your, if you're going to have a board of directors, which would be your mastermind, right? You have to put these pieces in place. So you have to have a sales department, right? You have to have the sales force, you have to have the management squad. All of this is the brain, right? So when you're building the entity, you build the brain. You also build the mind, and then you build these branches, which will be your nerves, right? To, you build that, and then you feed it. You feed it, right? You feed it the positive things that you need to make it grow and to express what you've already programmed into the brain, right? So you build a business the way you would build a human. How are humans created in the womb? If you learn, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. We look at Henry Ford. Henry Ford is giving credit for, the automotive plant. But who did Henry Ford get his wisdom from? He got his wisdom from George Washington Carver, who studied plants, and they modeled the automotive plant, the manufacturing plant, off of nature. And this is how you build anything. You look at the wisdom. You don't reinvent the wheel. You look in the wisdom that's already there, and that's in Mother Nature.
Hey, I wanted to let you know that I am literally giving you everything for less than $100 a month. Let me explain what I mean by everything. I'm gonna give you the full focus framework. You'll get access to our members area. I'm even giving you our 31-day video series. I'm also throwing in the Side Hustle Secrets course. And you're gonna get access to the group coaching and Q&A. Oh, I'm not done. I'm gonna also give you access to the Side Business Accelerator. And just to make this even sweeter, I'm gonna give you 20% off all of our live events. Now that's $17,000 worth of value that you will literally get for $97 a month. Get access to the accelerator and the side hustle secrets all for you. Click the link below, join the program, and man, let's get that side business profitable right now. Let's get back to the episode. There's so much in what you just said right now. All right. So I like this because I think there's so many people right now talking about how to build a business. All of these internet and social media streets who are all talking about this stuff. And you know what they typically do? Are talking about the fast track. They're talking about, oh, do it fast, do it this way, do it this way. And there's not a lot of people talking about the fact that this is going to take time. Like you gotta put some time into this, right? Like this is going to take some time. You have to install the culture. You have to
Mhm.
install the systems. You have to install the modus operandi. You have to install, and guess what? That takes time. Now, if based on what you're saying, so when you think about the businesses that you have today and what you've been building, leveraging this type of thinking, what's been um what's been kind of the aha moment for you, like the big aha moment as you saw it this way, and then you were like, well, I'm going to build my own businesses, I'm going to do my own, I'm not just getting these certifications for no reason, I'm going to build businesses for myself. What were some of those big ahas after you realized I got to build this thing just like we would build a person?
No, it for me, it was a journey of collecting all this data. I knew it, right? It was not for me. It was never a, oh my God. I'm just, I'm just a really deep thinker. For me, it was the confidence in myself to trust that I could do what I learned. And I didn't have confidence in myself because of the system trying to live and up to how the system say you're supposed to do stuff. And so because my knowledge was so disconnected and my work history was so disconnected, I did not have confidence to get out here and do something that was unconventional. But the creator will, when you're ready, even if you don't think you're ready, the creator will make you show yourself when she knows that you're ready. So I had a pattern of leaving jobs and then going to get another job, right? So I was always successful in anything I put my hands on, but I worked really, really hard to do this stuff, right? And I would burn myself out. So, but I couldn't stay at any of these jobs long because I would get burnt out and I would lose a lot of interest. And I would have to find something else that would stimulate me because I'm not, once things get monotonous, I'm just not effective in it anymore. Okay. And so I found myself spinning my wheels using all of my effort, my physical effort to do everything. And so my last job, which was truck driving, I told the owner that I was going to leave in May. I planned on leaving in May because in my heart and my soul, I said, I'm not going to be driving trucks no more. This is it. This will be the last trucking company I'm driving for. And no matter what I got to do to, to, to do it on my own and I'm going to do that. Well, it didn't go as planned. And he ended up laying me off at the beginning of the year, January, right after I bought a brand new car. So I just got myself into $40,000 worth of debt and then I lose my job. But I knew that I was not going back to I'm not going to another trucking company. I refused to. So I knew that over a 20-year period, all this wisdom that I have, all this experience, I have all the tools that I need to be successful in what I'm doing. And so I was writing a book. I'd started businesses before, I'd written business plans and everything, but my heart was not in these things and I was doing them for other people. And I wasn't doing them for myself. I was playing the submissive role, because they say as a woman, you got to submit to your man and help him. I tried that. I tried that. tried
That
to
didn't
play
work too well for
background.
you?
No, it didn't work because first of all, the guys was jealous of my abilities, and it just did not work out in that setup. And so I only did that because of societal programming, that I felt like I just had to have a guy to do it. Like I did not feel comfortable doing it on my own, but the creator wanted me to do it on my own because the fact of the matter is I've been doing everything on my own the entire time. I was doing all the work when I was helping these dudes, they didn't help me do anything. Right. So the creator pushed me out the window, it pushed me out the door. And I knew I had all the skill to do it. And I was writing my book. I started writing my book maybe in November of last year. And I would get off work. I would work all day, go pick up my daughter, and come home. And I would pick on my book. And I would do this every day. And then I would do my shows because I had a show that I was doing on YouTube, still do. And I was juggling all of this. And when I lost my job, I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this book and I'm going to sell my book because I know that I got gold, that I can add value to people's lives. And I finished that book in a month, got it all done up, and put it on the market. And I could have not been prepared for what happened when I did that. I couldn't have been prepared.
Tell me what happened.
I lost my job January 3rd of this year.
Okay.
And I filed for unemployment because I didn't know how I was going. I knew I wasn't going back, and I just needed something to carry me through. I was
Yeah.
making $1,000. I was making maybe $1,200 a week, barely bringing that home.
Mm.
And then my income went to zero after that because I didn't even get unemployment. I would have never known that I would have went from making $1,200 a week to about to touch 300,000 before the end of the year.